You've got a market coming up and you have no idea how many candles to take to it. Well, I've got a couple ideas on what you can look for and how to kind of solve this issue. My name is Jeff Standley, this is Stanley Handcrafted, and I wanted to go into a question that I get quite a bit, and that is exactly what I said in the beginning. I'm getting ready to do a market, a show, or a pop-up event, and I have no idea how many candles I should bring. Now, this isn't really a question that you can kind of answer with an exact number or anything like that. It's really going to come down to a lot of factors. It's going to come down to your area. It's going to come down to the market, the size of the market. It's going to come down to locations. So it's not really a set number. You need to take 100, you need to take 1,000. It's definitely something that you kind of have to look into. You really have to look and see what the market is. But I will say there's definitely a few things that you can do. You can't go wrong with any event taking, even at minimum, 50 to 100 candles. Now, when you're first starting out, obviously 50 to 100 is going to seem like quite a bit. And of course, if you're going into a bigger market, 100 is going to be way too little. So when you're first starting out and you're really just getting going, I would take every single candle that I have. And in the beginning, it was only like 40, 50, 60 candles on a good day. There were times when I would do a pop-up event when I was still selling sugar scrubs, lotion bars, stuff like that. I would only take like 30 candles. And of course, that was only because that's all I had at the time. And of course, this is something that you'll definitely get a feel for as you move on, as you start to do more markets. It's something that you get a better idea of as you go through it. But if you've never done one before, the things that you can do to kind of make sure that you have the right amount of candles at the event is look and see what the event is, where it's located, jump on their website, and you can ask around to see how many people they actually have at the event. Is it a smaller event? Do they get a couple hundred, or do they get 3,000 or 4,000? And a lot of websites and farmers markets will list this type of thing. One of the farmers markets that I do here gets on average probably 2,000 to 3,000 per Saturday at the farmers market. Now, that's definitely a fair amount of people walking through, but the other thing you have to take into consideration with this farmers market is a lot of those people are repeat customers, repeat people. So a good size market, but you don't want to overload it and take 1,000 candles. I've done this market many times and I would never sell that many candles. Honestly, taking 100 to this one, even with a couple thousand people going through, is going to be more than enough. One other important thing to consider when you're doing these markets is to make sure that you take several scents. Having multiple scents for people to choose from is going to make more of a difference than having, say, 1,000 candles there. And that's definitely something I figured out over time. When I would go to a market and I only had, in the beginning, 4 to 6 scents to start out with, I had people constantly asking throughout the day, do you have this scent or do you have that scent? And of course I didn't, because I only had like 4 to 6 scents starting out, but I noted every single candle and every single scent that somebody wanted. And then as the day went on, or as the weekends went on, I would note which candles and which scents people were really asking for. When it was something like Nag Champa, that was a scent that I didn't really want to carry, because I've said in my videos in the past, it's not a scent that I care for, but I had so many people asking for it that I had to stock it. And then of course, once I stocked it, it sold out. So that's definitely one of those things that you want to pay attention to. Reach out to the website, find out how many people are there, and then also go through the vendors list, which every farmer's market that I've ever been to has a list. And a lot of the vendors have their Instagram profiles, their websites. And if you see somebody that's in there that's kind of similar, somebody that may be doing bath and body products or even candles, you might even ask them and reach out to them. A lot of people don't mind that you reach out and send them emails or direct messages through Instagram. And ask him how the market is. What kind of traffic goes through there? What kind of stock do you bring, and what kind of success have you had at this market? And then of course, as you start to ramp up and you're doing like bigger markets, you definitely want to make sure that you have plenty of candles on hand. Now, when you're doing, like I sell the 8-ounce jelly jar at a lot of farmers markets I go to, they come 12 in a box. So it's easy to pack up 4 of those boxes and you've instantly got 48. Now, I would say on a good day at this particular market that I'm talking about, it's the one that has like 2 to 3, maybe 4,000 people walking through. You're going to sell 20, 30 candles throughout the day. I've definitely had days where I've sold 4, and I've definitely had days where I've sold over 50. But again, that's just something that you learn over time. So there's really no set number on what you should bring to a market. But like I said, you can do things to kind of prepare for that so that you're not taking 1,000 candles, because that's a lot to handle, to a market where you're only going to sell 20 in a day. Now, of course, we do have a market around here that happens once every year. It's a big Christmas bazaar, and this is one where 10 to 15,000 people show up. Now, this is obviously one where you're going to want to take 1,000 candles. People are really going through there. It's Christmas time, so you know people are buying a lot more. this is one where you would really contemplate taking 1,000 candles. Now, you're probably not going to sell 1,000 candles even at this market, but you definitely don't want to be left shorthanded, and kind of preparing yourself and having that kind of stock with a bunch of different scents really leaves you with the best opportunity to sell the most to the most people. But like I was saying earlier in the video, just a little while ago, the bigger thing that you want to be concerned with is having multiple scents. So if you can ramp up, even if you're only taking 48 candles to a smaller market, if you can have 6, 8, or even 10 different fragrances in that lineup of 48, you definitely have a better chance of selling a lot more candles. You're going to get a lot more people looking for a variety of scents. Now, I know this question doesn't really get answered in this video. It's kind of some tips and tricks and some things to think about. Like I said, there's really no direct answer for this one. There's no set number based on the amount of people that are going to be there, or the location, or the type of event that it is. I've done events where there was several hundred people there and I sold 3 candles, and it just wasn't that great of an event. It was an event where they had something going on, like a stage thing going on, and then they would let people go through and walk through the booth for about 10 minutes, and then they would go back and watch a stage thing. I thought it was going to do a lot better. This is one where I definitely took 50 or 60 candles, and again, I sold 2 or 3. But I was definitely prepared for this one. So if something had happened, and even though it was only a couple hundred people there, if something had happened and it was a big sale day, I had enough candles to go through that. So I hope that was at least helpful. Like I said, go through, look at the farmers market websites, see how many attendees that they have. Even email the people that run the farmers market, ask them how well the market does. And then of course, just go through the vendors list and start to just reach out to people. That's what I did. I would reach out to 4 or 5 different vendors who were kind of in the same line. You definitely don't want to reach out to the food vendors because they sell like crazy all day long, and other products are not going to sell as well as like food does. But if you could reach out to places that do, even jewelry is a good one, bath and body products, anything that kind of relates or is in a similar avenue as candles, I would definitely reach out to them, ask them how well it does. And then of course, when it comes down to it, you really can't be over prepared. I mean, obviously, like I said earlier, taking 1,000 candles to an event where you're going to sell 30 is definitely over preparing. But like I said, if something does happen and you really sold a ton, you've got stock. Obviously, packing 1,000 candles is a hell of a task. Not a lot of people are going to do that, but taking a little bit more than you think you're going to do is always a better choice. And like I said before, and the most important thing is take as many scents as you can, because that's going to make more of a difference. Not only is it going to make a difference because people will have a variety to choose from, is you can also go down and rely on different types of sales. So if you do a buy 3, get 1 free, a lot more people actually take advantage of a sale like that when you have a lot of scents to choose from. So like I said, I hope that video was helpful. If you have anything to add to this one, or if I glossed over something in this one, please let me know in the video comments down below. I'll try to go through, add those to maybe an update video. And then of course, we go into full discussion on this one on the DIY Facebook group, which I've also included a link in the video description down below, along with the social media platforms that you can follow me on: Instagram, my website, my email address if you want to reach out. And of course, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, and thank you for watching.